Hello everybody, my name is Nevalon and welcome to the first PvP video on this channel, which is going to be Xelor in 3v3. Why it's going to be Xelor, why it's going to be 3v3 in the first place, I'm gonna explain like few things. Well, with the Xelor, I played, I think right now the most and decided like this class I'm gonna upload first. And it's currently one of the strongest classes in the game after the rework. It's very strong, and I'm gonna during the videos I'm gonna explain kind of why. You're gonna see why. If you played against Xelor, you kind of may know why by now. Obviously, I'm gonna focus on the chance AP reduction build, but I'm gonna use different build comparing to other Xelors that are playing. I'm gonna explain the builds at the end of the video. And yeah, speaking about the why 3v3, this is the reason, because I think that 3v3 is way more complex when it comes to because you need to understand pretty much all the classes in the game, at least in minimum of about them, and know what your teammates are capable of, know what your enemies are capable of, the limits and the compositions. There's like so many factors to pay attention to comparing to like 1v1 and 2v2. But in the future I also plan to do 1v1 matches, just I need to do things in the game to like actually feel like I can be capable of like doing proper 1v1s videos, and right now I don't think I am. Now from this place I also kind of wanna to do shout out to two people. One is Tura from the Discord, from the community server, which borrowed me the Sylvan Dofus until I get my own. I appreciate it a lot. And also Zotto for helping me leeching out my characters for a very fair price. Thanks, you can check him out. He also made some videos on YouTube from like under 160, 170 level PvP mostly. I really appreciate that help from you guys. So yeah guys, now with the progress that I made in the past 3 years of playing and the recent help that I've been receiving, I am capable to play various classes and also educate myself, and while also trying to provide you the knowledge for the PvP if you are interested into trying it out or learning and improving. I'm also kind of excited of like learning some of the classes, getting the feeling on them, trying out various builds, because I didn't have this possibility in the past. When it comes to 3v3 mode, also the builds that I'm gonna use, majority of them, I'm gonna be usually saying when I'll be explaining the builds in my videos, which ones, where you can play them, because some builds you cannot, for example, play in like 1v1s, but they are strong in 3v3, and the builds that you can play in 1v1s are not that useful in 3v3, for example. So yeah, most of the time I will be trying like to present like in my opinion, like optimal builds that are most common, and some of the builds that I came up with, like for example with the Xelor one that I'm using. I mean, it's not like really came up with, it's been a very old build, but it's just the one that I'm using is just not the one that every other Xelor is using when playing Chance. And I'm gonna obviously later explain why, as I said already before, like I believe multiple times. So yeah guys, without much more further ado, let me know how you're finding the PvP content that I'm making, what eventually could be changed, improved, whether if it's for the videos or for my gameplay. Let's get into the first match. Alright, we begin with the very standard setup that I'm usually doing, which is casting Premonition somewhere forward, placing the synchro, and then telefragging to give it a first stage. Buffing AP to the IOP using dial, and applying the space time, so in case he would get hit by Eka Flip, that's what I had in mind at least, he would return to his previous position, and I moved away myself, so if I would be on his spot, I would just get telefragged with him, so yeah. But the enemy Eka Flip is focusing on the synchro, which I could have positioned better, but this map for me is one of those like awful ones where I cannot even buff all of my entire team with AP. Here I'm checking out the tarot of the Eka Flip, what it's doing. But yeah, map isn't the greatest for me, so I could have been positioned, though I could have positioned it maybe better, but the synchro will not be needed in this match, so it's good. My team is not playing Pritex from what I noticed. Yeah, no Pritex, and enemy Suckers by I believe not playing Pritex, Eka Flip not playing Pritex. So guys, I suggest that if you're playing 3-3, play always unless you're Tank Sucker, play Shiny Pritex, really. Damage absorption on 3v3, especially that matches usually end like turn 3, turn 4 average, so it's better to have it. I could buff use Haziness also on the IOP here, by the way, so he could have more AP because he didn't need to use much AP in this turn. Okay, enemy Sucker is doing smart thing by applying Gravity State on the entire team, blocking my turn from like telefragging all of them, and putting the sword in the place where I'm teleporting. so I'm locked by it. And okay. So now I'm a bit chaotic here, but the answer is simple. How to delock myself is just simply use Coke and put the sword behind me. Using the 25th hour to apply the telefrag state on everybody, since they will have no more anyway gravity states apart of the one from Sakir, so I will not need the spell. And I consumed the telefrags with the petrification, some minor AP reduction, also like Eka flip with slowdown. And my turn is not completely wasted. I also applied the remanence on the Sakir, so on his turn the gravity will be gone. He will not be able to use MP. He obviously can swap, he can switch positions, he can pull himself, but he cannot use MP. And the only counter to it is just unmovable states and gravity states. So for example, unshakable states like from Forgernot is not countering the position switches. Eka flip found the zone to still damage me, despite me trying to like get myself like in a position to like, you know, not receive much of damage, but it's completely fine. Honestly, I thought I could have like, you know, just definitely I could have positioned better, but it's fine because Praetic like absorbed the entire damage, and so we are completely chilling. Any rips are cleaning up the sword and bringing Iop a bit closer by the, like, let's 2 cells and pulling him. And now, enemy's Foggernot is gonna advance in this situation, in this position, yep, and he's gonna pretty much swap the attack turret with the Eniripsa, with the from the very nice range, very long range, not gonna lie, and twice now switches the attack turret again. And he positions himself in the way where he also receives damage. Now, if I use rollback, because of the way he swapped twice the attack turret and, yeah, basically, the way he swapped basically the targets, it's allowing me to use rollback and bring the Eniripsa back to where it was, whereas the cut. My IOP is going on the Foggernot, full damaging it, and now on the Sakir, as I said, Sakir turn is pretty much cancelled. Sakir is trying to get himself, you can see, he used protection to swap the positions, he could do that, he can pull himself to the attack turret, but he cannot use MP, and so he does not understand really Remanence spell. Switches upon with the Penitence again, meaning that he doesn't play Sacrifice, but even if he played Sacrifice, I could debuff it as a Xelor, so it's fine, and did random perfusion by just removing himself just HP, honestly, and that was a very useless cast. Okay, I'm bringing the Eniripsa back and the Foggernot in the comfortable for me position, and trying to combo it, doing as much of a damage as I can, and also trying to AP reduce him. I passed the turn with 3 AP left. I could have at least removed the Ivory proc from him, but it's totally fine. He's still in trouble. Eka flip is now wasting the entire turn to heal him up, to pretty much keep him alive. And he manages to pretty much give him a good amount of HP, despite, I mean, he's also, you know, on erosion, but he didn't receive too much of a damage yet. But yeah, I mean, too much of a damage to lose too much maximum vitality by the erosion. Anyway, in this scenario, the Sakir turn was completely cancelled. The plan of like Foggernot like bringing, like, look, he brought the Enirips on their side. Then I decided just to bring the Foggernot on our side, a bit closer to it. So let's say things didn't work out as planned, we may say. Eniripsa did good amount of damage, applying also neutral poison from the Ebony. So yeah, now the Foggernot could probably distance himself and get himself like in a safe spot and try to maybe get some HP from Lifesaver and maybe even shield himself, but unfortunately he didn't seem to be really come up with this idea. Instead he's going to try to damage me, although I didn't receive much, and Eniripsa did receive a bit more. But he's giving now the zone to Iop, which finishes both of them. His Iop is still very buffed with AP. And now also does precipitation, sorry, and pretty much kills the Eka flip, because Eka flip had 4% neutral damage and Hekax did 1000 first line of neutral damage, and the second line was like 500 from earth damage, and Eka flip like had 30% earth resistance. And this way, this is pretty much game over. Using Telefrag to get myself like a bit closer, and just by using 1 AP, by just spending 1 AP on this, and then comboing the Sakir, So, and also haziness on him, so in case he doesn't die, I was thinking if he wouldn't die right now, so he doesn't have like too many options to like, you know, extend the fight unnecessarily. But it's he's very low HP, there's no way he can like get to even his turn. We are finishing up. So despite Sakura made a good choice by applying the gravity and trying to like block me in any way possible. But this is how you can this is like one example of how you can play around enemies like being fully on gravity. You can still without like casting 25th, I could also just, you know, just casually damage them with other spells, with petrification and slowdown. And this is the game over. Let's get to the next match. Okay, another match on a more open map and way bigger. We got Sakura and Masquerader in my team. Sakura agility and the Masquerader being strength. Enemy team also have a Xelor that plays after me, and Iliochop and the Iop. Here I'm buffing the AP with the Dial 2 and both of my teammates, haziness on myself and the Sakura, because why not? And I didn't need to really roll back, I could keep Masquerader in the middle, but it's a minor difference honestly in this situation. He's maybe it wasn't honestly that bad of a choice because he will later buff me AP and the Sakura. And so, okay, so enemy Xelor is setting up, but he's not placing anywhere premonition, which I'm already taking, you know, I'm noticing that thing already. I'm also noticing that enemy Iliochop playing pushback build has no pride deck and is last in initiative. So, seeing how the composition looks like, I already, my turn is like gonna be like that I'm gonna swap the Iliochop with the Dial where it is. I'm gonna bring the Iliochop to my teammates that are melee. And so, and I'm gonna cancel their Xelor turn. So that's gonna be the goal for me. I am buffing up the Fit of Rage. Sakura also is gonna just move, advance a bit, put the sword somewhere, think about what to do. Spam excruciating pain to get some power. He's gonna put later the sword. I was like thinking where he's gonna put the sword, but he ended up putting it on the glyph for me, so I can get 2 AP on my turn. Enemy Iliochop is gonna buff up himself and the Xelor. And so my eyes are still on him. They have like no way also to counter my remanence, which I'm gonna explain in a moment. Okay, but here we go. Okay, so we're going to the Iliochop, as I said. We're going in a position where we can cast Rift, and then we're doing the dropper to return to the previous position while the Rift is activated. And placing the target, our prey, let's say the Iliochop in this case, on the position of the dial. So at the end of the turn, Rift is being casted and the dial swaps with the Iliochop. I applied the Remanent State on the Xelor, forcing him to use the 6 AP just to teleport and at least get to me. I applied the space time on myself, but honestly it wasn't really that useful. I mean, it was still, I could have maybe just do 2 AP cast on him, of like slow down or something, but minor thing. Damaged me a bit, tried to AP reduce me, but I'm also I was very heavily shielded because of the Masquerader. And speaking about him, he because I gave the Iliochop to my teammates, he did massive damage already on the Iliochop. Iliochop is in very trouble. Nobody in their team can really save it. The Xelor got cancelled quite a bit, and the IOP at least is like putting my Sakura in a duel, so he doesn't go for the Iliochop, and maybe Iliochop will have a way to survive. But spoiler alert, he will not. So the reason, I mean, the only character in this in enemy team that could counter my Remanence would be the IOP if he had the Determination spell. Obviously, with the duel, in a way, also he kind of could counter it, but like, I mean, usually when you think about countering as IOP the Remanence, it would be just by having Determination, which is variant of the Precipitation that buffs AP. Okay, so it's a Iliochop turn, and it's trying to put the totem, get some HP back by hearing it, putting the portal, and trying to get himself in the safe zone. But I'm very nearby, and I'm about to hunt him down and finish the job. So here we go. Consuming the Telefrag, permutation, and there we go. he's pretty much dead. And I'm gonna end next to my dial that is in a very convenient position. I still have 2 AP left, and I'm gonna just do random cast. That doesn't really matter. This synchro gonna get healed up. And applying the premonition premonition in front of the like basically forward, so I can later get to my teammates that are going to focus on the app. Xelor, I'm not sure what he's exactly debuffing me at this point. Maybe whether if it was because I had still shields on me or because I had the AP buff from Dial on me. That was a kinda I don't know. Still, I didn't really think about what he was trying to debuff me, but doesn't matter. My Masquerader continues on the IOP. There is the closest target, and so IOP is also in pretty bad situation. He can't really do much, trying to damage and trying to stay alive. But yeah, my Sacker is about to damage him. This is basically a game over at this point, just because removing, deleting completely the Iliot shop by bringing him to my melee teammates on the big map, and by canceling Xelor from going to, trying to maybe save him in a way, or like just trying to go and advance, and he couldn't. They couldn't really do anything. I don't know if they could like figure out a way to do something. Okay, here we go. My turn, and here I'm gonna try to aim for the synchro proc. Now I cannot really telefrag because IOP is on gravity state, but I'm still going to hit him, guys. Even if the target is not on telefrag, you can still hit him. And I'm paying attention to the Ivor state to make sure to not hit my synchro on the Ivor to like actually maximize the damage. And so after I proc the synchro, now the IOP is on Ivor, and I did around 1400 damage with it. Enemy Xelor continues trying to hunt me down, which well, that doesn't matter at this point because the IOP is anyway already on the edge of living, and this is pretty much a game over because of how the map looked like, what was the composition, the order of the initiative. As I said, this is like the factors you're paying attention. So the composition, the enemy's kit, your allies, and as you can see, it resulted in me pretty much making the decision, winning the game for me and my team. The IOP got deleted completely, and now it's about just to finish the Xelor. So this is gonna be a bit it, guys. So the enemy Xelor is gonna be leaving right now. Nothing much more to say. All we're waiting now is just for the enemy Xelor to leave, and there we go. GG's. Okay, for the Xelor video, I think I'm gonna decided to also like talk a little bit about the tricks that you do with the Xelor, how to set up for the turn 2, and how I play personally my turn 2 usually. So first thing that I'm gonna talk about is, okay, I'm gonna like do the standard setup with just buffing myself the AP. I can do also like haziness. And so let's go with the swapping the target on the dial spot, right? So first thing is that I'm getting in the range where I can telefrag the target with using any of my spells. And when I'm already in this range, before I do anything, I'm casting Rift. Now I'm using Dropper to swap, to pretty much put myself in the previous position before swapping with the dial. But if I don't have anything forward, then I can, for example, spawn like Arachne. Make sure you don't use MP, else it's not gonna work out. And then you just do this, you can damage a bit. And by swapping this way, you're pretty much teleporting the target over here. Now, in this situation, you also kind of want to make sure that you may have like some entities, so you can like, make sure that you're gonna be in a safe spot. So I don't know, like Cowed Out or something, or I don't know. As I did, I used the enemy scout. I believe it was Dial when I did what I did in the second match, and I teleported away. So yeah, make sure that you guys, while doing this, also stay safe. Another thing is like if you play the Remanence. Remanence is the variant of the Rewind, where if you are insecure of if you're like not familiar with Xelor this much yet, Rewind is kinda a bit of a safer variant to play, safer spell. But okay, I'm gonna do one more time the setup. like that. Okay, I'm gonna be in range to actually get the AP. The AP gets in the 3 range AoE. And so let's pass the turn. So if you, for example, go and cast like Remanence on a target, right? Let's say I'm gonna be like, let's stay over here, for example. And I'm gonna like combo him. I applied the Remanence, right? So now I do combo, boom, boom. Making sure that I also have like 4 AP left. Then I'm doing a Rift to swap with the Dial. And now that I have 2 AP left, I'm also putting the Premonition. Just careful with the slowdown, because when you're hitting a slowdown on the target that is Telefract, the slowdown can cost 1 AP if you steal the AP, and by stealing it also means that you reduce the 1 AP of the target. But if you don't, then it will cost you 2 AP, even if the target is on Telefract. So it's like, you know, very RNG. If he parries the AP loss, then you guys, you know, the AP cost will be always 2. So it can sometimes cause the trouble, so careful with that. Another thing is that if you like going for the target, you're applying like Remans on it, right? And you don't want to like, you don't, if you have like other entities around, like for example in this case I have my Synchro. You've seen on the second game that I had like enemy Dial. So you can like use it to teleport away and like just place yourself in like a safe position possibly. And that is gonna be a fine play too. Another thing that if I'm already talking about also the Rift spell, it's worth noticing that if you ever will cast Rift, right, and the Rift will be activated, make sure that you during that don't try to trigger Synchro, because if you do that, it will not trigger. Usually it also, previously it was also applying, you would get like the Telefract state, but I guess maybe it got fixed. Let me try it out again to make sure that, well, whether if everything is working correctly. You can't really tell with this game. Okay, I'm gonna maybe swap again with Premonition. Okay, it didn't apply the Telefract state, but previously it was like that it would get Telefract state, and then when it had Telefract state, you couldn't proc it even if there was a turn without Rift being activated. And then you needed to like remove the Telefrag first with the petrification, and then you could like trigger it. So when the Rift is not activated, you can trigger it. Oh, you saw that that it had actually a Telefrag state above it when it exploded, but it didn't when I tried to trigger it while the Rift was casted. Maybe it was a bug. I don't know at this point. But yeah, I thought that it's gonna be maybe worth mentioning such little details in a way. I hope I said it clear enough. And if you have like any questions, if you are still lost, maybe then replay maybe the video, or like you can ask me in the comments the questions. Okay, now let's get into the build that I'm playing. Now, as I said, I'm not playing the usual build that people are playing right now on Xelor. I'm playing more of a like old school build that is slightly worse in certain matters. So we basically I play Sharp by 3 parts. I'm playing 2 parts of Ephedria set with the AP reduction Belladonna ring, 3 parts of the Wookin and Rhinitol ring. Obviously I'm using Scrot, and I got 5k initiative in total. You don't need Ochre in this version. I also didn't put Vulbis, so I'm still 5 AP even if I put the Exos. I mean, you can really play 5 AP in PvP if you feel like it, but for the Xelor, I usually go Vulbis personally. I kinda like having that additional MP even if you have Abyssal. But yeah, you don't necessarily need to go Vulbis. But this is something that many people in PvP and PvM are skipping if they feel like they can have a better egg over here. But yeah, I personally usually put Vulbis, but I didn't add it over here. Now, in this variant, why am I playing this variant specifically? Mostly it's because of like having the 5k initiative, so making sure that my teammates, because there are certain builds, like for example Sadidas, Sakirs, they have like close to 5000 initiative, and I kinda wanna be always first in my team whenever I'm playing solo. I really don't like whenever I'm like second, and especially when you're like completely last as a Xelor. I feel like it's when you're playing solo, it's not really a good thing. Unless you play in some like premade team, then it's a different story, but solo I personally don't like it. And so yeah, if I feel like to, I also have since there's like a lot of AP reducing characters, like there's right now the Xelor meta, And also, for example, there appears sometimes like Fekka, any Ripsas, and then I try to get some AP pair so they don't reduce me. So if I see classes like that in enemy team, then I'm usually going for the Bow Meow to keep the initiative, getting the AP parry to pretty good amount. And I'm 11 AP, so in that case I'm usually putting the Okor. And this is would be my setup. Now, what people play commonly is this build, and it is way better. When it comes to damages, they have like very minor difference, but what the set is better is, definitely is has way more vitality and better resistances. It also has a very high lock, so if you, for example, end next to the enemies, you can actually, you know, make them, you know, force them to, you know, lose some AP to like push you away or something in certain situations, so yeah. Base already you have like a 6 range. My build is 3 range, but usually since I'm advancing in like close range, then I don't really need it personally. There are very rare situations where I somewhat could like make use of this range, and these are usually not like that lethal. In this setup, in this build, usually people copy the build one by one, for example, from Infinities, which is the Xelor main. If you don't know who that is, you can check him out on YouTube. He's a French streamer and YouTuber, and that plays Xelor. So if you wanna like learn playing that class, go check him out. So they go Gani Gloopy, then obviously they put like Volbeat Okor. But then they are losing on initiative, and I would say that, as I said, in 3v3 it's better to have initiative, so you can like buff up your teammates, you can set up, and you can be the fight initiator. So yeah, this is the most common variant that people are playing, as I said, but if you're playing like 3v3, then going for the Scrot is way better. But in 1v1, for example, you can go kind of gloopy and just put Okor over here. So it's up to what mode, what PvP mode you're playing, and your overall preference. And if you want to, you can also go this build. I would say that this build is fine because this one, as I said, is if you have like enemies that have like AP reduction, whenever they have AP reduction in enemy team when I'm playing 3v3, then this set turns to be pretty decent. The AP reduction is pretty much the same. There's like 8 points difference. It's very minor. And this set, when we talk about the AP reduction, this one though has a very good MP reduction, so maybe sometimes into like Sadidas and Enuchrovs, you can like again swap the pet and increase it a bit higher if they play like MP reduction and stuff. So yeah, that's I would say about this build. You can compare them in the stats, you can see which one you prefer. This one I personally stick to this one usually, and if when I'm playing 3v3, but if I was playing like 1v1s, I definitely would go for this one. So yeah guys, this is it for this video. If you liked it, then you know, give it a like obviously. You can subscribe to the channel for the more PvP videos in the future. And you can also check out my Twitch channel, where I'm usually also PvPing with various classes, and check out how I'm playing there live, even with Xelor or anything else. So, thanks for watching again. Have a good one. See ya.